Well, hello everyone out there. This is Different Spirits. I am Scott and I am back from vacation. So you may be asking yourself, well, did you bring any fun, interesting spirits from Lithuania with you to review and talk about? No, absolutely not. My suitcase was full of toys that the girls bought. I should talk about Lithuania in a different video, but suffice it to say the spirit situation there is not that great yet. There is some really interesting stuff being made. It's called samagonas, and you can't buy it anywhere because it's illegal. There are a few smaller commercial distilleries out there. What they're making right now tends to be bottled at 40%, maybe 42% at the best, and then you have the sort of big commercial distilleries who are producing highly refined alcohol, a lot of it which is kind of flavored up and colored. We're sort of in that territory still with Lithuania. But today we're going to, on this first review back, we're going to talk about Fettercairn. Fettercairn Distillery, one I'm sure all care deeply about. No, actually you don't care at all, but I'm going to make you care, gosh darn it, because that's my job. Fettercairn. So I have to talk about White and Mackay to explain why these two things are here. One of them is I got sent this little sample from a very kind person. White and Mackay, or Mackay, whatever it is. W&M has been my perennial kind of whipping boy for sort of bad Scotch distillery ownership for basically as long as I've been running this channel. Because almost for a long time, everything coming out from them was sort of overproduced within an inch of its life. They were adding a lot of water, a lot of colorant, doing a lot of filtering, a lot of weird woody stuff. It's just sort of all the things I don't like about Scotch, really. However, they've always had like some interesting distilleries in their stable. They sold off Tamnavolen, so that's now with some private folks. But they have still got Fettercairn here. They've got Jura, and they got Dalmore. All three of which have tons of potential. Dalmore is one of those kind of Inverness region, kind of middle of the Northern Highlands distilleries. It's right in between Tianinic and Glenmorangie. It tastes kind of halfway in between Tianinic and Glenmorangie. It's got that kind of like black tea and orange meets kind of fruity malt kind of thing. It does very well with sherry. And it's a great stuff if it's allowed to show itself, which often under White and Mackay, it hasn't been. Jura is, I will admit Jura has a very low floor. It is a perennial supermarket malt. It can have some interesting notes sometimes. It will throw you some wet dog. It will throw you some cheese. Jura can get interesting, but by that same token, good Juras are really, really, really good. They just don't show up that often. It's because of ownership, right? And then you got Fettercairn. Fettercairn is special to me because it's an Eastern Highlander. And Eastern Highlands, as much as I talk about the lowlands and stuff, Eastern Highlands might be my single favorite region in Scotland. What have they got? There's, I think, 6 distilleries. Actually, there's probably more than that now. I haven't looked up what the new distilleries over there are, but traditionally you've had 6 distilleries. On the kind of western side of the Eastern Highlands, you have got Glendronach, you've got Ardmore, you've got Macduff, and we'll have occasion to talk about Macduff / Glendeveron some other day, not today. And then as you get sort of further east towards the coast, you get Glengarry, which is one of my all-time favorite distilleries in Scotland. You've got Glencadam, and you've got Fettercairn. And Fettercairn is an absolute character. I mean, all the distilleries in the East Highlands are characters, but Fettercairn in particular. Imagine like if you wanted Glencadam, but more weird, more almost expressionist, if you like, that's Fettercairn. I would even go so far as to say as if you are a fan of the weirder side of Ben Nevis, you need to start drinking some Fettercairn. The problem with this has just been like White and Mackay, basically. It's not just, that Peterson fellow who constantly likes yeeting whiskey out of his glass onto the floor. It's their whole philosophy towards presenting bottlings. However, recently that has started to change. I know we're 6 minutes in and I haven't even started pouring these yet. Recently, White and Mackay seem to have had a little bit of a change of heart. A lot of their basic level stuff is still 40% and colored and all that stuff, but you are starting to see still a lot of interesting wood choices, still a lot of non-age statements and all that stuff, but you're starting to see proper presentation. I just had some Juras in a previous video that were actually kind of solid, and now on the market are some reasonably well presented Fettercairns. So I'm going to taste out two of them. I bought this. This is the 16-year-old. This is the fourth release from 2023, and it is not expensive. Might be tough to get a hold of if you're in the States, but it's around on the online retailers. Fettercairn 16. And then there is the Fettercairn Warehouse 2, which is a non-age statemented blend of different things. So this particular Warehouse 2 is bourbon barrels and red wine barrels and rum casks. They never tell you what kind of rum it is, but And this Fettercairn, this is a little bit scary. I didn't notice this when I bought it, but it is a marriage of aged ex-bourbon casks, yay, and first fill port pipes. Uh-oh. But anyways, you've got good presentation on these. This is 46.4. And I think it's unchill filtered. Yep. Non-chill filtered may make a slight haze. Same thing with the Warehouse 2 thing. This is 50.6% alcohol by volume. Like, they seem to have tried with these, so I'm excited to try them. Now, I will say, over there, I have an emergency option. I may exercise if I am not sufficiently pleased with how these two are. But we haven't gotten there yet. All right, let's taste these out. I'm going to have some water first. And hopefully I can get this review done before I sweat my butt off here in the Chicago heat wave. Okay, the first thing I got on the nose of this 16-year-old, which is what I'm nosing, it's very... I'm getting a sensation of heat. That could just be the summer, but I don't think so. Yeah, what is... I think it's the port pipes, actually. I think it's the port. There's a lot of white pepper, cumin kind of coming through. And it's just a sense of that this smells a little hot, a little spicy. But that's really, that sense of, like, heat is the main indication I'm getting a port maturation. Otherwise, like, I'm not getting my leafy strawberry thing, which is normally the giveaway. Really, a lot of this smells kind of like a traditional sherry-influenced kind of bottling. There's some vanilla, there's some Swisher Sweets. It's a lot of wood, honestly. Some kind of cigar ash. They've done the best they can to cover over the nature of Fettercairn, but you can still tell it's there, which makes me happy. What are you getting? You are getting nuttiness? Almost, not Amontillado. I was going to say Amontillado. It's more like a Vengeance, oxidative wine. Oxidative wine nuttiness, and almost like a mustard seed note, which normally I associate with Tobermory. But here it is on Fettercairn. There's some like tea leaves, like slightly musty black tea leaves. But then you got the apple, the pear coming through, like mashed, sort of slightly half rotting apple pear compote or something. Little peach skin, vanilla. Yeah, the spiciness is throwing me off, because if you kind of handed this to me neat, I would think this was a lot stronger than 46.4. A little bit of like a raisin thing, like almost a rum raisin kind of character. And slightly floral as well. There's some wildflowers in there. I wouldn't call this, totally successfully balanced, because the spice is kind of throwing it off, but there's complexity here. There's a little bit more wood than I like, but the spirit is showing through. It's got that kind of weird spice cabinet character that Fettercairn can bring. Even a little bit of like a chicken bouillon thing. Wow. Okay, on the palate. Now the port maturation is kind of starting to get in the way a little bit. Dang it. It breaks my heart, because elements of this, I can tell. There's a fantastic... The bits and pieces of this, there's a fantastic malt here. But, like, the port is just so getting in the way of what this is trying to do. It's like a movie where most of it is working, but they just chose one, like... there's one badly written character, badly acted character, and it just throws the whole thing off. Yeah, so let's talk about the bad things. So here you're getting this sort of leafy strawberry thing. Yeah, leafy, half-ripe strawberry, along with black pepper, cumin, and a little bit of like a jalapeno note. And all that sounds great, except it's getting in the way of the rest of it. And the rest of this is vanilla, that kind of nuttiness thing again, Vengeance, oxidative wine. Mustard seed, chicken bouillon cubes, like mutant apple and pear, some nectarine. Even some grassiness on this. Interesting. Well, no, it's grassiness, but it's also some herbs mixed in. So, like, you took some dried grass and you threw in some, like, parsley, maybe a little bit of sage, some flowers also. This is trying so hard. It's fighting so hard to get through and punch through the sort of port influence, and it almost pulls it off. Yeah, it's just one of those movies where you just have to ignore, like, that character. It's you're trying to screen an episode of from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, from the good time, from the third season or something, from the good times of the good seasons, and then you're showing this to a friend, and then everything's going well. You're explaining the show, and then Xander walks in, and you're like, oh god, I have to talk about that guy. I was going to talk about like Godfather 3, but I really think like Sofia Coppola kind of gets a bad rap for that. Like she the character is supposed to be an annoying daughter, and she plays that perfectly. It's a question of the script not her performance. Stop being mean. But in this case, it's not a question of the performance. It's just the port is not playing well with the rest of this. Little cigar again. Natural leaf Honduras. Let's say a little ash as well. Cigar ash. I'm a little heartbroken by this because there's aspects of this that I really, really like, and there's aspects of this that are just not in balance. Yeah. So let's give this some water, and we shall move on to the the Warehouse 2 Batch 3. All right, here we go. On the nose. Very much more restrained on the nose than the 16 was. Not just throwing less stuff at me. I am also getting the sensation of heat on this. There's some spicy, like this just white pepper, cumin, a little bit of jalapeno, but not nice. Come on, talk to me. Okay, so I'm getting some, like a half an apple, maybe a quarter of a pear. There's some graininess to this. Some cream of wheat, maybe. There's a little hint of the rum. I'm getting the rum. What kind of rum? So just a dash of reasonably good Puerto Rican rum, like a Barrilito or 2-star or something. Just a little dash in there. Okay, we're starting to get some of the kind of fruity funk that Fettercairn can do so well. Dash of sage. Little floral. The nuttiness is there. That kind of... but now it's like the nuttiness is kind of attached to the rum note a little bit, so it's like, I don't know, imagine... making a Amontillado and Barrilito cocktail. I gotta say, though, this is a much more unresponsive, expressive nose compared to the 16. On the palate, from the color, I was really hoping this would kind of let the distillate show through a little bit more, and it really isn't. It's pretty solid. I might like it more than the 16. I'll have to come back to them, but it's wood juice. Like, this is absolutely wood juice. Vanilla, powdered ginger, sawdust. That little hint of Barrilito, touch of like cola candy, maybe. You do get the white pepper thing, and a little bit of cumin. So there's the red wine cask is playing a little bit of havoc here. Not too. I don't think it's as bad as the 16 though. I'm just not getting as much of the spirit as on the 16, which is weird. A little bit of apple, a little bit of pear, touch of like light honey, spring honey. Flowers again. Light herbs, particularly sage, but there's some other stuff in there too. It's a little vague. Neither one of these is really kind of what I wanted the Fettercairn episode to be. I'm enjoying the kind of vanilla wafers thing on this. There's a little bit, yeah, okay. And there's some graininess as well, the cream of wheat thing. But also like vanilla wafers. Let me try the 16 again. Is just more expressive. Like, it has more issues in some ways, but like it's just throwing more character at me. Yeah, I'm gonna exercise my emergency. I'm gonna give this 2 squirts, and then I'm gonna break out my emergency bottling because it's that kind of day. Here it is. This is an independent bottling of Fettercairn from a couple of years ago. It was a Party Source pick from just outside Cincinnati. So you can't buy this, but this is a stand-in for just a simpler presentation of your Fettercairn. I'll grab a glass. What is this? It's an AD Rattray. Distilled. When was this distilled? November 2006. Bottled at the end of March 2017, so 10 years old. And it's just a bourbon barrel. Like, that's all it is. Bourbon barrel Fettercairn. And you go... Let me kind of move these things over. You go right there. So this is just a naked presentation of the spirit. That's all it is. It is bottled a little bit stronger, but not too much. 52.1. So a little bit of a step up from the batch 2. Yes, this is what I wanted. Yes. Okay. It's still throwing some spice at me, but it just feels more integrated with the rest of this. There's some white pepper. Oh. Yeah, it really is like a mutant, breed between Glencadam and Ben Nevis. It's something like that. It's so. Glencadam and Ben Nevis had a baby, and the baby got dumped into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ooze. That's Fettercairn. Oh yeah. So, what am I smelling? I am smelling Yassa chicken. That's not what I haven't used before. Yassa chicken. If you haven't had it, go to your local Senegalese restaurant, order some. It's fantastic. But it's chicken that's cooked in this sauce, which is basically a mix of citrus, typically lemon, and mustard. And there's some ginger and some Scotch bonnet peppers kind of thrown in. I mean, this is Yassa sauce. That's like that's what this smells like. It's got the citrus, some lemon lime. It's got the mustard. Like good old Dijon, but it's all kind of blended into its own mix. You got the ginger. I'm not getting the chicken part. It's got everything but the chicken part. And you're definitely getting the Scotch bonnet as well. But it's Yassa sauce, but it's right next to like shortbread cookies and vanilla wafers, and some like apple and pears, like just chopped up, cubed apple and pears that are getting a little bit too ripe. Oh, there's more to this. There's orange pith. There's a little bit of hippie toothpaste, which is a note I don't get that often in Scotland. But yeah, you've got it's a little bit of fennel and a little bit of fresh mint. That kind of chicken bouillon cube note, that's in there. Vanilla, glorious vanilla. Peach, the oxidative wine nuttiness, actually less pronounced than on the 16, but it's there. Like, so just pour some Von Jean on top of your Yassa sauce. It's so fun. Like this, good Fettercairn is just it's Fettercairn is never boring, but good kept Fettercairn is just tons of fun. On the palate. God damn, is it nice when the cask is just working in tandem with a characterful spirit rather than just trying to bury it and block it out. This is Fettercairn. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Orange pith, some lemon pith, mustard seeds, Dijon mustard, black pepper, Scotch bonnet, ginger, florals. More florals on the palate than on the nose, actually. I need more of this. Vanilla wafers, cream of wheat with honey. Mashed apple and pear. Even a little quince in there. Ash. Cigar ash. I mean, this is fantastic. I'm not going to put it in the 90s or anything. It's not that good, but it's a ton of fun. And, like, there's a lot of complexity and intensity to this. I really like this. Black tea. Oxidative wine. I'm not really getting Vengeance. There's some, like, Spanish white wines. So yeah, maybe what I'm getting is like old Rioja Blanc, like old Lopez de Heredia white wine. Yeah, like something like that. Terrific little development. It doesn't throw a whole lot of new notes at you as it kind of travels through the palate. It's pretty consistent with what it's got. It just kind of unwraps like all this character that it has in a beautiful way. But yeah, it's got great texture, really good mouth length for a 10-year-old, and the finish just kind of sticks around. It's not just like the tannins and the tea and the pepper. Like it's a lot of the florals. It's a lot of the fruit. It's just really fun. Give it some water and come back to it. All right, so I don't think there's a question at this point in time, unless this completely falls in its place on its face when I add water, of what's going to win this flight. But let us go through these one more time. Fettercairn 16, official bottling. Here's the good news. I think the water, a squirt of water, tamed some of the heat, the spice. It's okay. So I'm getting a little bit of the strawberry thing now, which I normally am very wary of in port cast. But yeah, the kind of aggressive heat has kind of dissipated now. With the exception of the strawberry thing, this now just smells like a really nice, almost quasi-sherried Fettercairn. It's got the Swisher Sweets, the rum raisin. Then you have the apple and the pear and the orange. Okay, this is coming around for me. I was a little bit disappointed with it neat, but a drop of water has really brought this around, at least on the nose. Let's see what the palate is like. Still kind of the same issues. You got this wonderful, weird, rustic Highland malt trying to do its thing, and then like big ugly strawberry kind of gets in the way. But with water, it is more balanced. It is better. We're bringing out the nuts. We're bringing out the mustard seeds. The weird fruit gets a little bit more funky and fermentary. I score this, geez. It is definitely better with water. Most certainly. It's harder to score the ones which are not just kind of in the middle, in normal fashion, but have some good things, but then have something wrong with them. Those are hard to score. This one is even more complicated because it gets better when you add some water to it. I'll call this an 84 plus. That seems about fair. It's for the price for a 16-year-old. I don't think this is unfair. It's just I wish this is a huge step forward from what White and Mackay were doing before. It's better. Good job, guys. But just let your malts be what they are. Fettercairn and Jura in particular, and Dalmore's a different story. Fettercairn and Jura are weird. Just let them be weird. Just let them show their freaky, fun nature. And you'll have better malts for it. And nerds like me will be appreciating it and buying more of your stuff. 84 plus. All right, on to the Warehouse 2. Got some like lemon bars, like dirty lemon bars coming out now. That's interesting. Yeah, okay, so we're getting more of the spirit now. Dirty lemon bars, orange peel, apple pear. But also this one gets a little bit more spicy as well. Yeah, a little bit more kind of pepper, cumin stuff. Still not the most expressive nose in the world, but maybe this is also improved. On the palate, the spice subsides on this one too. A little bit less so. It's still a little bit more present, but honestly, it's wood juice. It's good wood juice. But hand this to me. I'm not guessing Fettercairn. I don't know if I can guess any distillery. It just tastes like, a wood technology, as Serge Valentine likes to say. I'm getting, vanilla and sawdust and ginger and a lot of kind of brewed black tea. And some kind of fruity, grassy, mustardy stuff, nutty stuff, kind of hiding out in the corners. It's a wood-centric bottle, and that's okay. But it's not really my thing, and let me try the 16 one more time. Yeah, despite the 16's issues, it's just a little bit better. It's got a little bit more length on it. It just follows through a little bit more than the Warehouse 2. I'm kind of stuck between is this an 83 plus or an 84? I'll call this an 83 plus. It's good. No, you know what? I'm feeling generous today. Let's give this an 84. 84 points. It doesn't have the glaring port cask issue that the 16 does, but also it's just like it's doing less stuff, if that makes sense. But I have a clear favorite going to the second round. So let's try it. AD Rattray, Fettercairn, 2006, 10-year-old. Not much development on the nose from where it was, and it didn't eat it. It's weird mutant Highland malt plus shortbread and vanilla wafers, and I'm into that. There's even a little touch of banana creeping in. I was going to say banana peel, but no, it's like the fruit, like baked banana. Fettercairn's fun. It just on the palate. Gun to my head, I don't think this is actually that much more complex than the 16. But it's got less stuff getting in the way. The wood is not fighting this. It's working with it. It's hoisting the spirit up and saying, hey, look at this weird, awesome spirit I've got here. And yeah. It's just fun. This is fun stuff. Not a ton of development from where it was. Maybe a hair bit more mouth texture, more mouthfeel, a little bit more gritty in there. Otherwise, I was enjoying it just as much. Neat, and I will probably continue to enjoy it neat. Just a terrific, fun character. Well worth your time if you know you like these weird Highland malts. You haven't tried a Fettercairn before. Something like this is worth your interest. What am I going to score this? Can I find an 87 here? Yeah. Absolutely. 87 points for this Fettercairn 2006. 87 points. And, yeah, so there you go. I think this is the cheapest thing here, but, so it gets the lowest score accordingly. Warehouse 2, Batch 3, 84 points. Wish it was more ambitious than it was. 16, terrific with some port getting in the way. 84 plus, gets better with water. And 87 points for the this rather wonderful representative of a untampered with Fettercairn from AD Rattray. And that is the video. Thanks for watching. And cheers.